I thank the chair. Protecting consumers is one of my most important missions, but the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau often deprives consumers of necessary choices and complicates access to financial products. Director Cordray's CFPB abused its power. It issued regulations that make it more difficult for consumers to qualify for a mortgage, obtain auto loans, access forms of credit. It is imperative that this committee exercises oversight over the CFPB to rein in abuses. And with that said, I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to your leadership, Director Kraninger. Director Kraninger, thank you for your testimony and again your leadership at the CFPB. You took the helm in December, and have since taken what I believe to be a thoughtful approach to the duties of an agency that many of my colleagues, myself included, believe to be unconstitutionally structured. You've conducted a 3-month listening tour to hear from state regulators, consumer advocates, and talked with your own employees to see what's working well and what isn't. What have you discovered through these discussions in terms of how to ensure the Bureau is actually helping consumers and not abusing its powers?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. It is a really central one to what I am trying to do in hearing from all perspectives on this matter. I think, again, protecting consumers is our mission, and I have been truly impressed by the staff that are there, truly dedicated. Had a lot of discussions with our examination staff, understanding even the most mundane pain points that they're experiencing from, how they have to manage their travel. That's time away from the mission, and that is my focus on how we best utilize our resources. It's, again, how do we make sure that every dollar is actually going to protect consumers and not towards administrative activities and bureaucratic things that are standing in people's ways. So certainly they have raised those issues. I've talked to educators about the most effective ways to get the American people and the public to understand better the products and services that they are interacting with, how to make good, the best financial decisions for themselves in their own lives, and give them the information that they need to do that, and carrying out all the missions of the Bureau, which are there are many.
When your predecessor appeared before this committee last April, he was very blunt, and he described the scope of his individual authority and power as director, explaining at the outset that he could, if he chose, decline to answer any questions from committee members or refuse even to appear at all, because the plain reading of this failed statute does not require it. He went on to describe the director's sole authority and complete discretion to define entire classes of financial institutions and products, to target regulations and enforcement actions as he alone saw fit. In your read of the law, do you as director have unfettered power and authority?
Congress vested tremendous power and authority and responsibility in the director, yes.
Just something that we here in Congress need to fix. How will you approach the directorship to best serve Americans? And what tools does the Bureau need from Congress to be successful in following through with your mission to end the era of regulation by enforcement?
I appreciate that question, Congresswoman. We have certainly a very important responsibility to establish clear rules of the road. As I noted, I have heard that from industry. In some respects, I've heard that from the examiner staff as well, making sure that they can hold institutions accountable and to clear rules and ensure a culture of compliance in the way that they're operating. So that is something that I am looking very carefully at. I don't have a specific ask of Congress to that point. There is a lot of flexibility in how we do things, but the law is certainly our touchstone in terms of what we undertake for supervision.
I thank you for your answers. I thank you again for your leadership. We look forward to you moving forward. You do not deserve to be berated or badgered. You are a fine public servant, and I appreciate all of the work that you're doing. It is Congress's job to change the statutory authority and rein in the CFPB. I thank you, and I yield back.